So, what is the importance of the preservation of a certain saint's bodies without decay in relation to the different religion and philosophical interpretations of a human conditions? So, the mysteries of the human life, the connections between faith and reasons, and the character of the reality are all touched by the occurrence of the incorrupted saints. Incorruptibility, whether seen as natural aberrations or a miraculous proof of divine interventions, prompt reflections on how faith, science, and the eternal search for the meaning in the universe connected. Here are some my supporting points. The presence of incorrupted saints stimulates contemplations on the enigmas of human existence, the correlations between faith and reasons, and the nature of reality. Incorruptibility, whether perceived as a natural anomaly or a remarkable demonstrations of a divine interventions, prompt humans to reflect on the intricate relationship between faith, science, and perpetual quest for significance in the cosmos. So my second supporting is that the occurrence of incorrupt saints give a prism through which to investigate the complexity of the religious belief, the existence of the supernatural, and the dynamic of a spiritual experience. Whether considered as a miraculous proof of divine interventions or psychological phenomenon, incorruptibility, our enrichments our understanding of faith and its impact on the individual and societal awareness. So, my experience about this is that when I visited some of the museum to witness some incorrupted animals, at first I entered the museum out of curiosity. I stand before the preserved body of the animals. I am overtaken by my sensations of awe and astonishment. The sight challenged their prior views about the world and leads me to dwell on the enigmas. They explored the riddle of life and death, considering the significance of the preserved body before them. The event also caused me to ponder the correlation between faith and interpretations of the phenomenon. While my national mind seeks logical explanation founded in biological and environmental variables, I cannot dismiss the emotional and spiritual impact of what I am witnessing. So, there are some of my objections about those things. First is that what are those possible objections? First is that the assertions that the presence of incorrupt saints stimulates contemplations on the enigmas of the human existence, faith and the reasons may overlook the potential biases and limitations inherent in the interpreting such phenomena through our religion's lens. While incorruptibility may indeed prompt reflections on existential questions, faith-based interpretations and neglect alternative explanations grounded in a scientific inquiry and critical analysis. Relying solely on religion's interpretations of incorruptibility could hinder a comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon and amplification for our understanding of reality. Moreover, emphasizing divine faith, emphasizing the interventions as the primary explanations for incorruptibility may perpetuate between faith, reasons, and potentials in open-minded inquiry into the natural causes and processes underlying such an occurrence. Objection number 2 is that the assertions that the occurrence of the incorrupt saints enriches our understanding of faith and its impact on the individual and societal awareness may overlook the potentials for confirmations bias and cultural influences in interpreting with such phenomena. While incorruptibility may indeed be seen as significant with a certain religious traditions, attributing it solely to a divine interventions or psychological factors may neglect alternative explanations grounded in cultural practices. historical context, human psychological, moreover, emphasizing the significance of incorruptibility in enriching our understanding of faith and prioritizing religious interpretations over secular or skeptical perspective, potentially limiting the scope of inquiry into the phenomenon and its broader implications for human belief system. Additionally, the assumptions that incorruptibility inherent enhances societal awareness of faith overlook the diversity of the religious experience and interpretations, which may vary widely across the different cultures and belief systems. So, my answer of those objectives is that in response to the objections raised regarding the potential biases and limitations inherent in the interpreting the phenomenon of incorrupt saints through a religious lens, it's important to acknowledge that validity of these in concern while also highlighting the multifaceted nature of the inquiry into such phenomena. Firstly, while it's true that religious interpretations of incorruptibility may overlook alternative explanations grounded in a scientific inquiry, it's essential to recognize that religious perspective often coexist alongside scientific inquiry rather than supersede it. A comprehensive understanding of a phenomenon like incorruptibility should indeed incorporate interdisciplinary approaches that encompasses both religions and scientific viewpoints. By integrating various perspectives, we can foster a more nuanced understanding of the phenomenon and its implications for our understanding of the reality. Secondly, the emphasis on divine interventions as the primary explanations for incorruptibility doesn't necessarily preclude open-minded inquiry into irrational cause and processes. Many religious traditions recognize the potential for both supernatural and natural explanation to coexist, allowing for more a flexible and inclusive approach to understand miraculous phenomena. Therefore, instead of perpetuating a dichotomy between faith and reason, the explorations of incorruptibility can serve as a catalyst for a dialogue and collaborations between the different modes of inquiry. In answer in objection 2 is that in response to the objections raised regarding the potentials for confirmations, bias, and cultural influences in interpreting the occurrence of incorrupt saints, it is important to acknowledge the complexity of the phenomenon and the diverse range of interpretations it may elicit. Firstly, it's crucial to recognize that attributing incorruptibility solely to divine interventions or psychological factors may indeed overlook alternative explanations grounded in a cultural practices, historical context, and human psychology. Exploring these alternative explanations enriches our understanding of phenomenon in its broader implications for human belief systems. By considering diverse perspective, we can avoid the potential of pitfalls of confirmations, bias, and engage in more comprehensive analysis of phenomenon. Secondly, emphasizing the significance of incorruptibility in enriching our understanding of faith should not necessarily prioritize religion's interpretations over secular or skeptical perspective. Rather, it should encourage dialogues and collaborations between different viewpoints, fostering a more exclusive and multidimensional explorations of the phenomenon. By integrating diverse perspective, we can gain deeper insights into the complex human belief system and their societal impact. Furthermore, it's essential to recognize the diversity of religious experiences and interpretations surrounding incorruptibility. Different cultures and belief systems may interpret the phenomenon in a various way, reflecting the richness and complexity of human spirituality. Acknowledge this diversity allows for a more nuanced understanding of the phenomenon and its implications for individual and societal awareness.
One example of an incorruptible saint is Saint Bernadette Soubirous, whose body remains preserved in France despite passing away long ago. Her body still looks almost the same. For example number 2, another incorruptible saint is Saint Catherine Labour, also in France. Even though she died a long time ago, her body hasn't decayed. Example number 3, Saint Charbel Makhlouf, a monk from Lebanon, is another incorruptible saint. His body is still preserved in a monastery, looking almost the same as when he died. Conclusion. In conclusion, incorruptible saints like Saint Bernadette, Saint Catherine, and Saint Charbel shows us God's power. Their preserved bodies reminds us of the divine and inspire us to have faith. The preserved bodies of incorruptible saints challenge science and make us think about God's miracles. Even though scientists can't explain it, we see God's work in these miracles. Believers find comfort and inspiration in the preserved bodies of saints. It's like having a special connection to God through these miraculous signs. God's love is shown in mysterious ways, like preserving the bodies of saints. These miracles remind us of His presence and encourage us to follow His ways. My personal applications of my insights is, so starting today I will learn more about incorruptible saints and let their stories inspire me to be a better person. As for me, beginning right away, I will pray to incorruptible saints when I need guidance or help, trusting in their intercession. On my part, I will visit relics of incorruptible saints with reverence, seeing them as reminders of God's love and power in my life.